Good morning once again. My name is Imikila Takin, and I am delighted to welcome you all to this webinar, Ghana at London Tech Week, Meet the Organizers. I'm privileged to be your moderator for today's discussion. As we gather here today, let's take a moment to reflect on the transformative power of technology. Technology is not just shaping our world, it's becoming the cornerstone of our future. Conferences like London Tech Week help us to understand how the transformative power of technology is taking over the whole tech ecosystem. And they bring together visionaries, entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers to exchange ideas, forge partnerships, and drive progress. The UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, with its mission to promote and grow bilateral trade between Ghana and the UK, is deeply committed to providing a platform for businesses in the tech and AI sectors, and most importantly, to connect them to the global market. As such, we are organizing a Ghana Pavilion at the London Tech Week and invite all tech enthusiasts and organizations seeking to embed digital technologies in their value chain to join us in London in June. We hope this informative session answers your questions and gives you answers to why to join this trade mission. On this webinar today, we have the main organizers of London Tech Week, who will be taking us through what to expect and what you stand to benefit from joining the UKGCC's Ghana Pavilion. I would now like to introduce our first speaker, Harriet Radcliffe. Harriet is a seasoned event management and commercial strategy professional, currently serving as a senior account manager at London Tech Week. In her role, she facilitates connections between international governments, tech ecosystems, and the UK tech market. Harriet, I now invite you to have your presentation. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having us join you today. It's really exciting here from London Tech Week to be able to welcome Ghana to our event this year. Firstly, I would like Elspeth just to do a run through. She's our content director. She manages all the fantastic speakers and all the speaking sessions that we have going on this year. So I'll pass to Elspeth to give a quick overview this morning.
Good morning, everyone. A pleasure to be here today, and we're really excited to welcome Ghana to London Tech Week for 2024. It's London Tech Week's 11th year in London. We've been running for 11 years now, so we're really excited for this one this year. From my side, what I really wanted to share to you is to highlight the content that we're covering at London Tech Week to give you an idea of the fantastic range of topics, themes that we're discussing, and also the range of speakers that we have lined up this year. So from a themes perspective, we're covering a fantastic range of topics, and we bring together very much the kind of tech side of the ecosystem, our entrepreneurs, and also our enterprise. So from the tech side, we'll be covering topics such as AI, cybersecurity, data, future of work, everything you can imagine to help businesses really understand how new technologies can transform their businesses. We are also then covering entrepreneurship, and this is a really big part of London Tech Week, is bringing our startup community together. So you'll be hearing from fantastic visionaries, from kind of serial entrepreneurs, unicorn founders, and also just kind of key individuals and thought leaders from that kind of entrepreneurial background. And they will be speaking on topics around advice on raising your first round, how to scale your businesses, when to know how to IPO, how to find your first co-founder, those kind of really critical conversations where our speakers have kind of had those experiences and they're here to kind of pass on their wisdom to our audience. The third theme that we cover at London Tech Week is social impact. So we're really looking at how technology is driving positive outcomes in the health ecosystems, in climate and sustainability, and also in diversity and inclusion. So those are our kind of core three themes that we cover at London Tech Week. There's a real breadth of different conversations that you will hear at London Tech Week. What I thought might also be quite useful is to just call out some of the big speakers that we have that are kind of accumulating in London Tech Week this year. So from that kind of big tech side, we have representatives from IBM. So for example, the UK CEO, Nicola Hodson, is speaking on the Monday morning. And we also have the UK CEO of Microsoft, Claire Barkley. She's also talking as well. Both of them will be discussing how AI is transforming businesses and what they can do for your businesses. So two fantastic women in tech really sharing both their leadership journey and how AI is positively impacting business. We then have key individuals such as Zara from Salesforce. She's the UK CEO of Salesforce. She will similarly be talking about how AI is transforming industry and what that means for the future of work and skills. We also have people like Charlotte Hogg, who is the European MD for Visa. She will be talking to how the kind of power of technology is transforming the financial service industry, particularly focusing on SMEs and how Visa are kind of making a difference in that space. She also has a fantastic leadership journey to share, and she'll be speaking on the Wednesday, on the 12th of June. From a more kind of entrepreneurial perspective, I've also pulled out some key names who are kind of fantastic entrepreneurs from a range of industries, and also from across the world. So we have Kate Ryder, who founded Maven Clinic, which is the first kind of unicorn femtech business. She's coming over from the United States, really talking about how technology has transformed the femtech industry. We also have Cameron Adams, who is the founder of Canva, coming all the way over from Australia, which is a real honor for us. And he's really talking about how AI is impacting the creative sector. So that will be a really exciting keynote on the Wednesday, 12th of June. And then along that kind of AI theme, we also have Jarek Kutilowski, who's the founder of DeepL, which is a German unicorn. And he will be really talking to both his experience as an entrepreneur and how he's kind of quickly pivoted to build such a fantastic AI business, but also his thoughts around how AI is transforming the ecosystem and how we're going to build AI systems that are both responsible and inclusive, but also have a really kind of positive impact on the ecosystem and business as a whole. And then we have a couple of superstar speakers I thought was worth pointing out as well. So we have Jimmy Wales, who is the founder of Wikipedia. He is speaking on the Tuesday headline stage with Alex Mahon from Channel 4, and they're really having a great conversation around the role that technology is playing in misinformation and what the future looks like, and this kind of political question around how technology is very much transforming our lives, our everyday lives, and what does this mean for kind of the communication for ecosystems out there. And then the final thought that I wanted to leave you with is that London Tech Week is very supported by our UK government. So the Monday morning will actually be opened by our UK Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who will do an opening keynote, sharing his views on the future of technology and the impact on not just the UK, but the UK in the context of Europe and on a global stage. And similarly, we'll have the UK Chancellor also speaking on that Monday morning, discussing kind of latest European success stories and what that also looks like for the future of the world, I think, as well, not just the UK, but in that kind of global context too. So those are the kind of key exciting themes, speakers that we have lined up this year. I really hope that side of it is useful. And yeah, we really look forward to welcoming everyone who will be able to attend London Tech Week this year. We have fantastic presence from all across the globe, including our speaker lineup. So it really will be an honor for us to host anybody from Ghana who's going to be over here during London Tech Week.
Thank you very much, Elspeth, for that. Do we move to Harriet?
Yes, definitely. So I'm just trying to share my screen. So yeah, so with London Tech Week, so we are really excited to bring Ghana in on a pavilion. So I just wanted to talk you through this morning around why London Tech Week and why you should come as an exhibitor alongside the Ghanaian pavilion rather than just visiting the event, and what kind of benefits you'll receive from doing that. So just to kind of build on from Elspeth around the content side, London Tech Week is going into its 11th year, and it's our first year with having this big expo hall. And with that, we've seen ecosystems from around the world join us with national pavilions to showcase their startups and their SMEs, their corporations, and just be able to share their ecosystems in the UK market. So with that, London Tech Week this year, you'll see kind of the top business leaders, senior policymakers, kind of the big unicorns, like serious founders, and you'll see how we're kind of shaping the UK ecosystem, but also the global tech ecosystem all in one place in London. From an exhibiting side, we've had years of success for building connections in the market. Alongside, and making sure people can meet the right decision makers and generate leads and brand awareness in the market over those 3 days at London Tech Week. So in previous years, we've had the Pakistani pavilion, and they've seen so much success in the last 2 years from joining us. And the same with Dubai government as well. So a lot of their startups have come to the UK as part of this national vision and being able to meet investors, being able to meet kind of decision makers and make partners in the UK, which has then turned into deals or, turned into long-term partnerships, which has benefited both businesses. So by being able to be part of a pavilion, you also get to showcase as part of your destination, which can really help drive more traction rather than just being one person on their own. You get to come as a full country delegation. As an exhibitor, this is the kind of audience you would expect to meet. So we're actually, looking at our numbers, we're looking at about 45,000 attendees for this year, which is really, really great. And it shows how much we've improved year on year as an event and how important it is. Last year, we had about 30,000 attendees over those 3 days. So it's a 15,000 increase in visitors. Within that visitor demographic, you'll see about 1,300 investors and VCs, and then around 27% of those visitors will be C-suite decision makers as well. And the company sizes definitely have a broad range, but majority of the C-suite decision makers who come are SMEs and large corporations. Can we get a range of job titles as well? And we also have a lot of European visitors as well as UK. So about 76% of our visitors come from Europe. So it also broadens that market beyond London as well, which is really great. And then in terms of kind of top industries, majority of the industries come to London Tech Week. It's very agnostic, but we do see a lot of kind of banking and finance, security and data, consultancy and advisory boards, as well as like healthcare and sustainability. And also I wanted to mention around kind of the media coverage and highlights. So as an exhibitor on a pavilion, the pavilion also has the chance to speak to our PR agency to really boost that engagement with our PR team and look at maybe organising on-site interviews with press to try and boost the messaging coming from Ghana's ecosystem. So as an exhibitor, you get that better level of opportunity rather than being a visitor. So these are the kind of stats that we had from last year. So we were on Sky News quite a few times, BBC. We were picked up by media such as like Bloomberg, The Times, Forbes, all those tier one media. We were picked up in the press over those 3 days. So you can see kind of the stats on the back of this screen here. For this year, it's really exciting. So we've just confirmed that CNBC will have their own interview area. So they'll be running their own newsroom from London Tech Week, alongside confirmation from more involvement from Sky News and BBC. So you'll definitely have the opportunity to try and engage with some of the biggest media partners in the UK for this year. And then also what's new, for the last 10 years, we've been in different venues. For this year, we're in Olympia. So it's a better facility for that expo style. There's more free flow throughout the audience. There's more room and more opportunities. So we've got our pitching stage, which I'll go into shortly. And then we have our learning labs and new opportunities for investors. So we've worked really hard on our investor proposition for this year. So we'll have our investor lounge where investors can book one-to-one meetings with startups at London Tech Week. And then there's an investor and startup meeting area as well to facilitate more of that networking and more conversations with investors. As an exhibitor, as part of the pavilion, you'll have access to the Swap Card app. So you can utilize Swap Card in the 2 weeks before London Tech Week to start trying to connect with investors and sending out messages to build out more B2B meetings prior to being on site at London Tech Week. So this is our floor plan. So it's over 2 halls for this year. And you can see in the red zone on the left-hand side, that's our startup zone. So that's where the stand for Ghana will be for this year, which I'll show you shortly. And then you've got our main aisle where you've got the big players like IBM, Unilever, Dubai, Qatar, Cognizant, and GSK, who will be having their large pavilion stands on that main aisle. And then you've got your corporate innovation zone as well. So there's a little bit of, there's definitely lots of different areas for everyone at London Tech Week for this year. Got the VIP gallery and our headliner stage, which is where Rishi Sunak and IBM and Microsoft will all be speaking over those 3 days. I just wanted to go into more about what Ghana will be doing at London Tech Week. So we have a 30 square meter booth right in our startup zone, directly across from the pitch stage. So that pitch stage will have different sessions over the 3 days. And in that audience, it seats up to 100 attendees. The majority of attendees in that audience will be investors and VCs. So having the stand positioned right in front of the pitch stage will give the startup exhibitors the opportunity to reach out to any potential investors walking across from that pitch stage back into the audience. There's also a coffee hub right next to it. So if you want to have one-to-one meetings away from the stand, there's an opportunity to do that there. And then just where Qatar is and Omada, that's our main aisle of the exhibition. So it's a really, really prime location, which is going to drive as much traction as possible for more B2B meetings and conversations over the 3 days. So I'm just going to take you into our floor plan if it works. So this is our current floor plan for London Tech Week. This is the main entrance of Olympia, and this is the main ground floor. So this area here is the main aisle of London Tech Week with all the big players on there. So you can see, as I mentioned, so you've got GSK, which is the really large pharmaceutical brand in the UK, Cognizant, Omada, Qatar, IBM, Dubai, Unilever, Canva, to name a few, Tesco. And then you have the pavilion right here. So it's a really high traction area, which I think will benefit all of the co-exhibitors for this year. And you can see as well, we've got some other countries exhibiting all around the different areas of the floor plan. So we have over 25 country sponsors for this year. Do let me know if you've got any questions. I'm happy to answer any whilst we're on this call today.
Thank you very much for that, Harriet. You've given us a good background of London Tech Week and what to expect. Just to see if there are any questions from the audience, and please, if you have any questions, kindly put them in the Q&A section, and then we will answer that. But I would just like to ask you, Harriet, to highlight on some real-world examples, some specific success stories from other country pavilions at previous London Tech Week sessions. I know Elspeth gave a brief background, but if you could give us some more details on that.
Yeah, of course. So last year, Pakistan brought a really large delegation on a country pavilion. They had about 80 different companies. And one of the companies managed to close off around a £20 million deal at the end of last year. And that was from a meeting that they had at London Tech Week. And then there's other successes where startups have come and they managed to meet investors who are interested in investing into them in the UK. It's proven really successful as well with the country pitching sessions. So Turkey is also a returning client from last year. Turkey had around 20 startups come with them.
and they had a pitching session on stage. When they had that pitching session, there was lots of interest afterwards, and I believe there was some quite a large amount of deal flow from the back of London Tech Week from that. For this year, Turkey have returned with about 180 square meters of space, and they've had over 1,000 startups sign up to wanting to come to London Tech Week, but their stand will only facilitate about 100 to come with them. So it's a major increase for that for Turkey coming up back to London Tech Week for this year. And I think that just proves how successful it is for the startup market and for SMEs and for large corporations, just because it gives you, a really great audience over those 3 days, which you've got everyone in the same room. So within that 40,000 attendees which we're expecting, you've got your investors, you've got your VCs, you've got your C-suite decision makers. So there's so much opportunity for networking in business. And I would say London Tech Week is quite a different event in the sense that everyone is so open and so excited to be at London Tech Week that there's so many different, business conversations just flowing over those 3 days. So I think, as an exhibitor, it's really great for building out connections in the UK and for meeting potential partners and also for increasing deal flow in the market.
Okay, thank you so much, Harriet. Can you kindly take us through the floor plan again? We would like to go through the floor plan again.
Yeah, of course. So you can see it right here. So if I zoom out, you've got your 2 floors. And then this is the entrance here. So you'll have all your registration around this side. And then this is the main aisle. And then this is where the pavilion is hosted in the startup zone, right by the pitch stage and the coffee hub and the main aisle. So it's really, really great positioning. Have you got any questions around the floor plan? Is there anything else you'd like to see on here?
Thank you, Harriet. Nothing else, but I'd like to invite my colleague Sergey to take us through the Ghana Pavilion, what to expect, and some other details that will be necessary.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you all. Really interesting presentation, Harriet and Elspeth. Thank you for the time and for sharing the details with us. One thing I just wanted to recap around the Ghana Pavilion or the UKGCC package for London Tech Week is that we will be going to London for 4 days as part of the UKGCC package, 2 days for London Tech Week, and then 2 days to have B2B meetings that the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce will help facilitate. So if you wanted to join London Tech Week and you had specific people you'd met at the event and wanted to set up meetings on the side and so on, we'll be able to facilitate that for you and organize that on the following 2 days after the conference. And our packages come with other perks as well, including on-ground support, and just things to make your trip kind of easier and smoother and make the conference even more productive than it already is. So if you're interested in understanding the UKGCC package and what we can offer to you and how we can tailor London Tech Week specifically for you, just drop us an email or share your email addresses with us and we'll share more information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sergey. I would like to ask Harriet if you'd have any extra details to share with the audience today, or if Elspeth also has something to share.
No, I haven't got any other additional parts to share with the audience today. Apart from that, it's definitely the biggest and best London Tech Week we're running, so it's definitely the one to be a part of. And I know that we're offering 2 to 3 startups from Ghana the opportunity to be on our pitch stage as well, but I'll let you manage that. But that is an opportunity we're offering to UKGCC this year.
Thank you very much, Harriet. If you'd like to attend or have your tech products showcased at UKGCC's exclusive pavilion at London Tech Week, you can reach out to us via trademissions@ukgcc.com.gh. All other official UKGCC platform details are available in the chat box, and you can reach us via any of them. And so I think at this junction, with no questions, I would like to thank our panelists and for you, to our viewers, for tuning into this session. Once again, I would like to encourage you to sign up to join us at the Ghana Pavilion at the London Tech Week in June. It promises to not only be exciting, but an opportunity to connect, learn, and grow. Please remember to also follow us on all our social media platforms, on LinkedIn, on X, Instagram, and Facebook. The details are in the chat section as well. Thank you once again and have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you.